It's been 1 week since the M1 Air has been released, and I'm going to be testing several comment requests from YouTube and checking out how it performs with swap memory. Now, it doesn't necessarily stack up against my desktop CPU, but for 4K editing and playing video games, I haven't actually found the need to turn on my gaming desktop. So this test benchmark is going to be running off a cold boot, and we're going to be checking it against OBS. So I got my girlfriend to give me some coffee. Get ready because we're going to be testing out several titles from Steam library. The first game we're going to check out is Alien Isolation. So this was a request from my YouTube comment, and I went ahead and just purchased the game since the Steam sale is coming out. Now let me tell you, I'll be putting the activity monitor RAM on the bottom left, so it will always be on the OBS recording. So you can see here with Alien Isolation at the lowest settings possible, I'm getting a miserable 15 FPS. This is about 800 by 600 lowest resolution, lowest settings I could change. There may be some notepad configuration stuff that I could change, but for the most part, this is what's available during the graphics GUI. I would say that this is pretty much non-playable, depending on some people, especially coming from a gaming background. Having a 144 hertz G-Sync monitor, definitely something I wouldn't want to play this full game in, and I'd probably boot up my desktop if I wanted to. The next game we're going to be covering is Counter-Strike Go. So as many people have noticed, or if you've seen online reviews, currently there is no way to play this game. Now, someone was able to get this game running by installing the latest Apple beta 11.0.1, the beta version, and it loads fine. Though on my system, I'm unable to get it as I do not have the beta developer software. This next game, WarThunder, was also a request. Downloaded the game, popped it up, free to play. Now, I actually did some research because when I was testing this out, I found that the game would constantly load and then freeze right here as you're seeing. It's interesting to note if I talk about the swap memory. If you haven't checked out my video on the 8GB versus 16GB, I gave my thoughts on swap memory. My device is running on 8GB device, and you could see here that some of the swap file used is around 2GB while gaming. One game I was pleasantly surprised with was how Arkham City played on this computer, was getting around 60 FPS consistently, even with OBS running. So it was able to just play smooth. Even if I turned down settings a little bit, I could have got 60 FPS, and you could hear me kicking some butt.
That's kicking the crap out of them! Kill him!
Overall, highly recommend playing this game. If you haven't played any of the series, it was great, and it runs perfectly fine on the M1. Thermals was great during this part of the test. Didn't notice anything on my hands, nor did I notice anything when checking underneath the laptop. So I would say definitely consider checking this game out. Next game we were testing out was Bioshock 2. Now I'm going to just give a little shout out to some of the other YouTubers who have been testing 8GB versus 16GB. Mine should come in today that I could pick up at the Atlanta store. But during this test, the Max Tech actually found that there was little to no performance difference in terms of export or rendering when using the 8GB versus 16GB. So check out his video if you click the link on the top right corner. Now with Bioshock 2, depending on which settings you want to play at, I was actually able to get really good performance in not just Retina mode, but then also in the native resolution, I'll say at 1440 by 900. Now for those of you who want to get 60 FPS, you may want to turn this setting down to consistently get it to what the native resolution is of the monitor.
Daddy was sleeping for such a long time, and Eleanor has missed you. Find her and you'll be all better.
You can see here that most of the cores are being utilized by the system as well as the GPU. So definitely nice seeing it and nice knowing that there's low thermal impact on this. So Tabletop was an interesting game. Though I loaded it up in Retina resolution, I turned it down to 1440 by 900 to try and get better frames per second, but I feel like that setting didn't stick as the top left FPS counter stayed at a really small DPI that was hard to read. You can see when initially loading some of the game, if you're downloading this board from scratch, you get some initial load and lag time. However, once that was settled, I was getting pretty consistent navigation and movement around the board. So for the most part, I would say that for these settings, you'll be able to run at either native resolution or very high. You could go ahead and turn down MSA and get some better settings configuring with it, but you could get consistent 60 FPS as well. Finally, last game we checked out was Dota 2 Underlords. Over 40 hours of play, not just on my desktop computer, but also on the iOS app. This was something that was actually pretty interesting to run as well, getting consistent frames also while recording on OBS the entire time. So you could expect from any of these benchmarks that I've done or any of these FPS that you'll get higher FPS if you don't have OBS running or you're not streaming online. Now this game was running at most settings turned to all the way max. You could see here 1440 by 900 if you wanted to test on Retina. If you could take or see a difference in running at full resolution versus what a quote-unquote native resolution would be at 1 DPI versus a Retina DPI, you could go ahead and see you're gonna get about 60 FPS consistently. And I would state again that with OBS settings turned off, if you're not streaming, not recording, you would get good performance. Now you can see here on the memory pressure or the memory settings from Activity Monitor running the window of Activity Monitor that the RAM or swap used is around 1.65 gigabytes. So this is something that you're probably gonna consistently have in terms of running video games, regardless of OBS or not. It's around 1 to 2 gigabytes used during your gameplay. Now again, when playing, let's talk about a little bit more of swap memory used. There's other YouTubers and I've made my own 8 gigabyte versus 16 gigabyte recommendation that you can check in the links below. You can see typically I've found from scrubbing through the OBS recording that most of the games played are around 2 gigabytes per gaming session used, and that would probably be consistent even without using OBS to record my gameplay footage. So with that in mind, if you are the type that likes longevity, you may want to consider getting the 16 gigabyte version. Though you won't get better performance or FPS, you will have peace of mind in terms of knowing that your SSD isn't being used for swap file. So that's been my 1 week review since using this as my daily driver. Again, like I mentioned, I haven't used my desktop at all, haven't found the need to, and it's been actually quite pleasant switching to a full macOS as the driver. Again, you'll get better performance typically when gaming because you won't be using OBS. And I'd say be on the lookout for some more reviews. I'm going to be checking out League of Legends on streaming and OBS settings, as well as more work consultant type stuff running Microsoft Office Suite and Business Suite devices. Thanks for your time, guys. See you guys in the next video.